Mr. Drewski himself doused her in lubricant and jumped on top of her, knocking the wind out of her due to his enormous size. There is an astronomical amount of different things happening all around the world, but in the US, it is ramped up to 50. From part of the country being on fire, to dangerous tornadoes hitting Texas, to the political arena and the tariff wars that are happening. There is so much to unpack, so let's get into it. Hello, my name is Lee, and this is Officially Noted, and let's go ahead and travel this road of the US and see where it takes us.
Assembly Bill 1333, released 2 weeks ago, was meant to address what some see as a growing problem with vigilantism and public gun use, after a Supreme Court ruling nearly 3 years ago expanded the right to carry handguns in public for self-defense.
That is intended to make sure that people understand that they can't go out in public, pick a fight with someone, and then shoot them and rely on self-defense as a defense in those cases.
But the bill's original language has sparked confusion and backlash. One part of the proposal says killing someone in certain situations, such as to protect your home or belongings, is no longer considered justifiable.
I guess we're going to start off with a banger, correct? I'm not going to lie to you. California is already crazy. If y'all don't know, just do a little research on California and the laws that they place. But this right here is absolutely wild. To consider the fact that they're going to take a law that would then, first of all, permit you to be able to, defend your home. I'm just saying that if somebody breaks into your home, you have a firearm, I feel like they have a right to defend themselves, right? That's not what this bill said. This bill said, no, you can't even justify it anymore. Now, the initial words were, this is to stop vigilantism. But when you really read what they're saying here, they're basically telling you, no, it's not just vigilantism. It's you better just find some other way to not get robbed or stabbed or so on and so forth, because, can't use your weapons. Like, what is the point then of self-defense if the very place that you live in cannot be defended?
State lawmakers have pulled the plug on a controversial bill aimed at closing a legal loophole related to self-defense claims.
Its author, Assemblymember Rich Chavez-Zabur, says he's withdrawing it due to what he calls misleading information and confusion surrounding it. Critics feared it could limit the right to self-defense, arguing it didn't fully consider real-world situations.
So here we got the update. They pulled it finally, okay? This is a good thing. The truth is this whole narrative that, it was just misleading information. It was right in your bill. We just read it, okay? California, y'all got to get y'all stuff together. In the meantime, while we have all this stuff going on with California legislature, there's been severe weather going on all throughout Texas, including crazy tornadoes that apparently are affecting not just the South, but the Midwest, meaning dozens of people are dying. Dozens of people are facing these different things. And this is what we're experiencing here in the US in mass. This is insane. And this is what we're having to deal with. Bro, the United States is cooked. Speaking of being cooked, look at all the wildfires that are happening all around the US currently right now. We know that it was happening in California. There was fires that were happening all around South Carolina. And look at this extreme weather that's hitting us. That's going to be bringing more thunderstorms and so on and so forth, hopefully putting out some of those fires. But this just shows you the US is not in a good place. Speaking of extreme weather, you know what happens when you have fires and tornadoes and things? Houses get destroyed. Oh wait, let's speak about the housing demographic here in the United States. Let's see. First-time home buyers overall is 35. That's the age in which people are buying now. From 2024 to 2025, the average age is 35. For single women, it's 38. And for single men, it's 33. But that's crazy, right? Because when you really start to look at some of the aspects of this, it goes even deeper than that. Now, as we take a quick look here over the past 10 years, the past decade, look at the prices of houses over that 10-year span. We're talking below $280K was the median, and we're talking about $420,000 is what it's currently like in 2024, 2025. There is no way the average person can afford these houses when the average median is about $58,000 that is made from the average person a year. These housing prices are basically impossible for the average person to be able to afford. And this is what we're having to live through. What will it be in the next 10 years? Recently, I heard something quite interesting, and I wanted to dive into it myself and give my perspective on the situation. So let's go ahead and hear this from the mouth of the person.
This is a huge red flag for me. All right. You know what's so crazy? I was gonna say men. Strike one. You're a man. Yeah. And you're heterosexual. Yeah.
So if you guys don't know who this person is, you should. This is Doechii, okay? Doechii is a very new artist who's been releasing a lot of good music that people have seemed to enjoy. And then this happened. And I want to find a good way to explain this, which I part of me can't, to be honest with you. I feel like this is an insane take, but I also could understand, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and explain this out. Being a heterosexual man, straight, is a red flag. Immediately a red flag. So the average male is just a red flag to her. Now, this is quite a crazy take, to be honest with you. At the same time, I think we might have to dive into it a little bit of the thought process maybe behind this. Maybe there's been a lot of bad experiences from straight men, and there tends to be some real bad apples out there. There tends to be men who are overly aggressive, too straightforward, maybe abusive. Like there's a lot of things that are out there, okay? But in the same token, you cannot just instantly say every single person that's straight and male is a red flag. Now, mind you, it doesn't affect me, it doesn't bother me, so it isn't that big of a deal to me. But I think it's important that we start to understand that these are things that shouldn't be notably accepted to just say a whole demographic's just a red flag. Let's go ahead and finish off with a banger. Of course, we got Drewski, Odell Beckham, both being brought into the Diddy cases. Man, this one was wild when I read it. This is one hell of a read. And the lawsuit initially filed in October. Ashley Parham accused Combs of assault and battery, abuse, false imprisonment, and kidnapping, and then named Drewski, Beckham, and Jaguar Wright, Janice Combs, and 8 others as co-defendants. She alleges that she was set up to be taken advantage of in a particular apartment, and the things that happened are absolutely insane. Parham begins to describe this interaction, okay? That first sets up that Mr. Drewski himself doused her in lubricant and jumped on top of her, knocking the wind out of her due to his enormous size. Oh my gosh. Then she claims that, Sean did some things to himself. Odell was there, Pierce was there, and they all took turns taking advantage of her, allegedly. Now, mind you, this is wild. Okay, do I believe this happened? I don't even know, to be honest with you. But we're talking about the icing on the cake of the stuff that's happening in the US. Is there a surprise anymore about the stuff that's happening? And I don't even want to get into the political stuff, some of the stuff that's going on with the tariffs and all the things that are happening there. Guys, noted. All of this is noted. Let's see where the US goes from here.